day after Groundhog Day today. Apparently, we're in for a long winter. That is according to Punxsatawny Phil, who emerged from his hole. And when I say emerge, I mean forcibly dragged out of a box that, for reasons that are clear to no one. But lots of people, thousands and thousands of people, travel to Gobbler's Knob to show up before dawn to kick off Black History Month in the whitest way possible.
Just a small town hall, living in a hollow log, a fuzzy weather vane sleeping inside there.
I can't believe she won Best New Artist at the Grammys last night. This is a weird event, this Groundhog Day gathering. It started as a weird event, and it is getting weirder every year.
Groundhog!
In another universe, the groundhog is pulling that guy out of his hole and dangling him up in the air. Another rodent came out of his hole to hit the red carpet at the Grammys last night. None other than Kanye West. He showed up to take photos. He showed up for the red carpet only with his wife, who caused quite a stir. She was wearing nothing. This shows you just how much times have changed. Before Trump, this would have been our whole monologue tonight. Now it's like the 9th craziest thing that happened this weekend. Remember the whole country melted down when one of Janet Jackson's boobs popped out for a millisecond? Now a completely nude woman walks the red carpet at the Grammys. They're yelling, "Bianca, over here on the right, please." Also on the red carpet at the Grammys last night, Will Smith, who is banned from the Oscars for 10 years. The Grammys, they had him on stage honoring Quincy Jones. It's like they didn't... And you know, it's a shame. If Will Smith, all he had to do was run out in that red carpet and slap Kanye, I think all would be forgiven. It would be... He would be hosting the Oscars next year. Will's daughter, Willow, was nominated for a Grammy last night. I was watching this on TV last night with my kids, and they were like, "Why is everyone at the Grammys not wearing clothes?" I said, "I don't know. I really don't know." And then we have Willow's brother, Jaden, who showed up with a house on his head. They asked, "Who are you wearing?" He said, "Zillow." It's, The most disappointed person at the Grammys last night was whoever was sitting behind Jaden Smith. But the most exciting arrival of the whole day yesterday was this guy, Luka Doncic, who somehow got traded to L.A., and maybe the most shocking trade ever. Anthony Davis went to the Mavericks, and then Luka Doncic is now playing for the Dodgers. Somehow the Dodgers signed him, too. They didn't even let him pack a bag. Welcome to L.A., Luka. You will never have to take a selfie with Ted Cruz again. Meanwhile, our president, Dirk Nowitzki, is still posting about the water he sent us. He's still pretending he turned on an imaginary faucet, and Rayman posted twice about this over the weekend. This one, photo of beautiful water flow that I just opened in California. Today, 1.6 billion gallons, and in 3 days, it'll be 5.2 billion gallons. Everybody should be happy about this long-fought victory. I only wish they listened to me 6 years ago. There would have been no fire. This is so crazy. This might be his craziest one yet. This might top the injecting bleach. But, so Trump releases all this water in Northern California. Not only doesn't any of it flow to L.A., anyone will tell you none of it flows to L.A. The farmers up there who will get it are confused because they didn't need it and they didn't want it. It also means they'll now have less water in reserve in the event of a drought over the summer. Not only that, had Trump released as much water as he wanted to, he could have easily flooded the town of Porterville and the whole area around the town. They had to stop him from doing that. What if that had happened? What if the image of towns he accidentally flooded was all over social media? How would he blame that one on the Mexican transgenders, I wonder? Can someone please open the valve in his head that turns his brain on? Because the White House is also... They're also doubling down on this nonsensical assumption that DEI caused the tragic air crash last weekend in Washington. This time, though, he made his new press secretary do it for him.
When you are flying on an airplane with your loved ones, which every one of us in this room has, do you pray that your plane lands safely and gets you to your destination, or do you pray that the pilot has a certain skin color? I think we all know the answer to that question, and as President Trump said yesterday, it's common sense.
Yeah, mostly I just pray that I'm not sitting next to you on an airplane, but...
If President Trump is telling us that air traffic control towers are staffed with unqualified controllers, these DEI hires who never should have been brought on, then it's not safe to fly commercially, is it?
The president was asked and answered this yesterday, and he believes that it is still indeed safe, and Americans should feel safe traveling our skies. With that said, two things can be true at the same time.
No, not in this case, they can't. Let me see if I have this right. The system is broken, everyone in it is grossly incompetent, but there couldn't be a safer time to fly. Donald Trump's been president for 2 weeks as of today. I know, right? All hell has broken loose in almost every possible way. On Saturday, he issued those 25% tariffs on goods imported from Canada and Mexico. Then today, he unissued the tariffs. He decided to hold them for a month. I guess he must have seen the guacamole bill for his Super Bowl party. Why Trump is squeezing our closest allies, no one knows, but this is how it's going over up north. At the Raptors-Clippers game in Toronto, they booed our national anthem. Same thing in Ottawa. Senators playing the Wild, they started booing. I didn't even know Canadians knew how to boo. He's been in office 2 weeks. He's already made Canada angry. The nicest people in the world are pissed off at us. And if you're wondering why he's doing this, personally, I think it goes back to this adoring photo of his wife making goo-goo eyes at Justin Trudeau. That was the day Donald Trump learned the word tariff.
Tonight, I am announcing Canada will be responding to the U.S. trade action with 25% tariffs against $155 billion. Like the American tariffs, our response will also be far-reaching and include everyday items such as American beer, wine, and bourbon, fruits and fruit juices, including orange juice.
My God, now he's gunning for our mimosas. And that's not all they're threatening to tax.
Along with nipple rings, macaroons, ice cream, and porn. It'll include major consumer products like used 2019 Kia Optimas, tree milk, and zipper lubricant. Also weed edibles, legumes, frosting, and soup.
Oh, not soup. That's too much. You know, on Friday, the Wall Street Journal ran an editorial saying that Trump's tariffs would cause the, quote, dumbest trade war in history. Of course, that was published before Dallas sent Luka Doncic to the Lakers. But the owner of the Wall Street Journal is Rupert Murdoch. And wouldn't you know it, Rupert Murdoch happened to be in the Oval Office today.
We have two of the most talented people in the world, the legendary Rupert Murdoch and Larry Ellison. So they are two legends in business, publishing, and probably every other. Rupert is, Larry, pretty much in a class by himself, right? I mean, although you may have a couple of bucks more, I don't know. But Rupert is in a class by himself. He's an amazing guy, and Larry is Larry.
Yeah. Totally Larry. He's hilarious, they say. So then a reporter had the good sense to ask Trump about the unflattering review his tariffs got from Rupert Murdoch's paper while Rupert Murdoch was sitting right there.
Mr. Murdoch's own newspaper, he called it the dumbest trade war on the editorial page on Saturday.
I'm going to have to talk to him. I've been right over the Wall Street Journal many times, I will tell you. I don't agree with him on some things. No, it's not only is it not dumb, you're going to see.
Yeah, no, you'll see. It's not dumb. What it is it's fake. He is pretending to issue tariffs so that Canada and Mexico can pretend to bend over for him, and then it'll look like he's the big hero. It's like wrestling. He's like a toddler negotiating nap time with his parents. But you do have to hand it to him. Starting the world's dumbest trade war is an accomplishment to add to a very long list. With first of all, world's dumbest trade war, world's dumbest COVID response, world's dumbest climate policy, world's dumbest hurricane map, world's dumbest election interference, world's dumbest wildfire response, world's dumbest crowd size comparison, world's dumbest insurrection, and world's dumbest error. It's like the Michael Phelps of World's dumbest stuff. You know, sometimes a town will elect a dog to be their mayor. Feels like we did that with the whole country. I just hope cooler heads prevail and the countries involved in this dumb trade war can all get back to selling each other crap as soon as possible. What happened to lowering prices? When did he say he'd get prices down?
When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
Okay, it's past day one, right? Maybe he meant stock prices? I don't know. Trump made a lot of promises, and on some of them, he actually followed through.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah,
Would you declassify JFK files?
yeah.
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah.
You hear the little gulp there before he said yeah? I might go through those with a Sharpie first. Trump did declassify the assassination files. We'll see when he gets to his buddy Epstein. None of the files had been released yet, which felt to us like an opportunity to have some fun. We went out on Hollywood Boulevard. We asked pedestrians for their opinions on some of the information we made up about documents that neither we nor they have seen in tonight's Declassified Files edition of Lie Witness News.
As I'm sure you've heard, Trump just decided to declassify a bunch of different files, like the JFK, MLK, and RFK files. Did you read any of the files?
I actually have read some of those files.
What were the biggest revelations that you read about?
Some of the weird sex stuff, probably.
There was a file that said that JFK actually didn't die from a bullet wound, that he died from a peanut allergy, which just wasn't so common before. Were you surprised by that?
Actually, I was. I thought it was actually by a shot.
Right.
But a lot of people are saying it was by a peanut. But
do you think that could be true?
I think nowadays you don't really know.
Because you could be shot at the same time as like you had just had, and it seems
so
like.
You can't really. I was gonna say it's a shot. It could have been a peanut. We don't really know, but it could be either one.
Were you surprised by the Elvis file? What was your reaction to finding out he was in the building on January 6th?
I think very shocked. I think there's a lot of things coming out about, oh, this person was there, this person was there. It's just eye-opening.
What was your reaction to learning that Elvis had left the building?
I mean, how do we know what's real or not? Because the CIA has kept so much covered, and I feel like it's awesome now with the technology we can uncover a lot of this stuff, and we're learning.
Since it wasn't the bullet that killed JFK, do you think that Lee Harvey Oswald should be released from jail?
Yes, because
he's been in there way too long, right?
And it's for something he did not really do. So
right.
Now that they brought up there was a peanut, why should he be paying for something it wasn't even his fault for?
I mean, he did actually shoot JFK, but it wasn't the bullet that killed him. So
he served some time for just shooting.
Do you think he should be compensated by the government?
Of course he has.
What do you think would be fair?
Oh, there's not really a price for everything that he's been through, and his family as well.
So much was leaked about so many people, like Harry Truman, Doris Day, Red China, Johnny Ray, South Pacific, Walter Winchell, Joe DiMaggio. But we didn't start the fire, No,
I think it was already out there. I'd be really interested to see more of the files, just to read up.
It was always burning since the world's been turning.
Yeah, for sure.
With all the revelations about JFK, RFK, and MLK, should the three of them show their faces and explain themselves?
I feel like they should.
Do you think it's wrong that JFK never came out and spoke after his assassination?
Kinda, sorta.
Like if he said, oh, the CIA killed me.
Right, something like that. It would've helped.
You know what? He's actually got a really good point. Oh my God, I can't believe it. We have 20 million subscribers on YouTube.
Unbelievable.
I only wish we got paid for this. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Help us get to 50 million, please. It's an emergency.